not just white versus black. What about Americans' attitudes towards Asian, Hispanics, or any other, I'm going to assume that's ethnic groups. That's a good one to end on.
Yeah, of course.
It's a really good one to end on.
Yeah, I think we're just erring on the white-black one right now because that is the most volatile that's in our country. They're absolutely, this is all people groups are against each other.
Absolutely agree.
One of the ones that I think where you and I actually went to a new place in this, new place of intensity was when we have classic white-black ones all the time. There's definitely tension between Koreans and others. There definitely is, but the white-black ones keep coming up. So I think that's the relevant one. Like, perfect case in point, 2 Super Bowls ago. Richard Sherman from the Seahawks, and Aaron Andrews. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, remember that whole interview where he's going off and like bragging and on his victory and yada yada. And you and I, it's classic because we've got a white and black. You and I had entirely different responses and opinions of that thing at first.
Yeah. So you just said, what a jerk. I mean, so you were upset, but it was just basically.
Yeah, you don't trash talk. Oh, we won, you're a loser. This is your time to be nice and gracious.
Yeah.
It's not your time to like bash down somebody. At least that's the way I saw it.
Yeah. And we were talking about that in a meeting. And so when that happened, I was at home when it happened. I cringed because what I saw was black guy with dreadlocks getting aggressive with a white woman in the Super Bowl in a public context. I just knew he was going to be crucified. I knew he was going to be crucified. And I think I got defensive around that because I felt like it would be taken out of context. And so we go in and we talked about it because we were like, oh, should we talk about that at the Super Bowl or not? And so we were in a room and having an honest conversation, and you were pretty intense about your dislike of him, but it had nothing to do with what I thought.
Right.
And I got intense in my response, and it was clear at some point. I think you actually called out, like, well, what? Help me understand. Like it was probably the most intense I'd ever gotten.
Well, it was fascinating. I never ever thought black man, white woman. There's some. I never saw that. But with your history, you justifiably would have framed it that way. I was just mine as just as an athlete. You just don't trash talk someone when it's over and you won on national TV.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And the beauty of our relationship was in that moment.
Maybe that's just a white thing. I don't know.
No, that's a sportsmanship thing. I think that's a sportsmanship thing. But the beauty of that for me was because of Brian and I's relationship and friendship and unity in Jesus, I was able to identify something in myself that I hadn't necessarily put my finger on until that moment. Because I look in that room, and when you respond like that, I'm like, I know your heart. I know your heart. So it caused me to step back and understand and frame up more of what was going on.
So you weren't able to put immediately on me the racist label.
Right.
If you had put the racist label on me, then there was nothing to hear or learn from, but you couldn't put that label on me, so that forced you to, and that's, maybe that's a big aha for all of us, no matter what race we are.
Yes.
We hear somebody who says something that we disagree, and we immediately say, well, that's because you're blank, and we don't have the ability to dig deeper on what's there. Man, bam, glad we did one more question.
Yeah.